welcome to Blue Jays Today, where your boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Nicholas Playlog.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, we gotta ask the question because it's September of baseball, meaningful baseball for the Toronto Blue Jays and many other teams. But specifically for the Toronto Blue Jays, how are those Jays gonna make the playoffs as we look at the September schedule?
Will they?
And will they? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and use code TODAYJAYS, getting discounts and deals on Monkey Knife Fight. Link is in the description. So why don't we answer that? What do you think about that? Do you think that the Blue Jays have a legitimate shot, or do you want to look at some stuff first and then we'll come to that answer?
Let's take a quick look at the standings right now to see where we are. Statistically speaking, standings-wise, we're in a pretty decent spot. Now, this actually hasn't updated yet because, give it a little refresh. Give it a little refresh going. Because we just won, there it is, we just won the first game of 2 in the doubleheader. We're recording this in between the first game of 2 on Monday. So we have 74 wins right now to the Orioles 71, and we have a 3.5 game lead on said Orioles, which is nice.
Yeah, that's really
good.
nice.
That's good. You know, that's a lot better. However, considering we have 3 more games in the next 3 days, and we have 6 more games after those 3 games against Baltimore, we can't be affording to be losing more games than we win to those Baltimore Orioles, because that lead could go like this if we lose 4, 5, 6 games to those Orioles.
Well, you're exactly right. For those who don't know, now the Toronto Blue Jays have 9 games left after we finish this first game. 9 games left with the Baltimore Orioles. And in ideal scenario, we take majority of those games, right? We take 5 of 4 of the next 9.
You feel like we have to.
We kind of have to, right? Because if we take 5 of 4, well, that means just between us and the Orioles, that's 4.5 games of a difference. Yeah. And any game that you lose more than that, it starts to creep up real close. Baltimore Orioles have different teams that they're going to face as well. I mean, look, they've got the Boston Red Sox they could beat, the Washington Nationals, the Tigers. They can easily make up ground there, whereas us, the Toronto Blue Jays, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
It's a little bit harder, folks. So currently we have 29 games remaining in the Major League season. Only 6 of those 29 games are against teams with a record below 500. So these are all competitive ball clubs. Texas, as you can see, not a competitive ball club. Boston, not really a competitive ball club at this point. But Tampa Bay, Orioles, Philly, Tampa Bay again, New York. These are not gimmies. You know, we have to be playing very, very well. And especially in those Oriole games, and especially in those Tampa Bay Rays games, we have to be picking up some key W's.
Well, let's talk about that, okay? So the Tampa Bay Rays, we got to be able to beat these guys. Because, look, they're right there in the division. They're right there in the standings. As you can see, they're only half a game ahead of us. Now, if you want to guarantee yourself a spot in this wild card, you gotta be seeking blood. You got to smell blood in the water. You got to go after these guys right now. Because personally, I want to get the first wild card. I want to get home field advantage, and we're so close. So with the Tampa Bay Rays, what do we got to do? What are you expecting out of the 9 games? What kind of record would you feel good about?
9 games remain against Tampa Bay. I would like to win at least 5 of those. That would be good. Not only would I think that really assist the Blue Jays in making a push for potentially the second or even the first wild card spot, but it would also make me feel a little bit more comfortable with the fact that, hey, we're probably going to have to play said Tampa Bay Rays in the wild card series, or if not, at least a team equivalent to them in difficulty, right? I don't want to be, beating up on Texas and Baltimore, but then getting our asses whooped by Tampa Bay and New York, because then we're just going to get ousted first round in the playoffs anyways. What was even the point of that?
Right.
You know, we have to deliver the bops to these Tampa Bay Rays when the time comes, and then we're going to feel that much more confident in postseason when it's like, hey, we got home field advantage, and now they're coming in. We've already done this, boys. We've been here. We handled them.
Right, exactly. So, guys, just look at the rest of the schedule. I did a little bit of a breakdown. So, 5-4, like Nick is saying, and then win before this game. I did the breakdown. 6-4 against the O's, so now it's 5-4. And if we face New York, if we win that series 2-1, and then we sweep Texas, and then against the Phillies we split it 1-1, that means we'd go 19-11, 18-11 now after the first game. game win against the Orioles. That brings us to a 92 win total. And as we know, 92 should be enough to get us in the playoffs. It feels like this year 90 isn't the golden staple to make playoffs, but it would for sure guarantee it, I feel like.
I think that 90 W's is still kind of like a golden ticket in, because it should mean that you're good to go. If you're getting anything less than 90, in my opinion, you've left the door open. You've left the door open. So
you're vulnerable.
Exactly, right. So if we use that, I guess, can we pull up the schedule just one more time, and just to show you guys exactly what this means. If Adam's saying that we need to go 5-4 against these Baltimore Orioles, then that means that out of the 4 games remaining, or 3 games, against the Baltimore Orioles that we have right now, we probably need to win 2 of those.
Yeah, we need to.
We have to.
Did
you say sweep? Sorry, go back to
sweep the Texas Rangers.
So that means that this next week we have to go 2-1 against these Baltimore Orioles. We have to sweep the Texas Rangers. So that's a really hot stretch right there. We have to go 5-4 against Tampa Bay, right? So maybe we get a little cold here. Maybe we go 2-3 in this section. Maybe 2-3 in this section. Then we probably can't be losing any more games to Baltimore. We got to go 2-1 in that section. 1-1 against Phillies. Now we already lost a bunch to Tampa Bay Rays, so now we got to go 3-1. We got to go 3-1 on the road right here. And then what do we say to New York?
We got to beat New York.
We got to go 2-1 against them. Then we got to go 2-1 against Boston, and then 2-1 again against Baltimore. So that just puts in perspective how difficult this could be. Now that would be to win 92 games. That'd be a lot. If we take 2 of those W's away, maybe give them to a few other teams. Maybe we don't sweep Texas. Maybe New York gets the better of us. We still have 90 wins. I think it's doable. But that means that we got to win, I think, 16 out of the remaining 29 games.
16. So it'd be 16-13.
Now, 16-13. That means that you're winning roughly about 60% of the ball games. This is going to bring me to my point right here about what I think is the most important. 60% of ball games we basically need to win from here on out. Our starters, as they are right now, we have 3 locked-in elites.
Right.
They need to remain being elite.
Yeah, those being Stripling, Manoah, and Gausman.
They need to remain being elite. A 5-man rotation, if you win 3 out of 5 with your elites, 100%. That's 60% of the time. I can't trust Jose Barrios, and I cannot trust this weird Trevor Richards, Zach White, whatever the fuck that thing is that we do every 5 games. I have no Mitch White. Sorry, whatever the fuck we do every 5 days, I have no idea what it is. I can't trust that. We need our elite pitchers, that top 3, to be locked in and in a groove, because then come postseason, they're gonna be the dudes who are moving the chains right now, getting it churning.
Well, here's what I'm saying too. I even think it's important to get Barrios going, man. Like, look, he has not shown any signs recently of, just in terms of ERA, has not shown any signs of that he is going to be breaking out and locking himself down. But he needs to give us still a chance to win. We have a 16-9 record whenever he starts on the mound for us.
That's pretty good.
It's good. He needs to continue to give us a chance, because look, we can't ask for Manoah and Gausman and Stripling to be perfect.
Oh, I'm asking. I'm praying, dude. I have to.
We can't. It's impossible. So we actually need people like Barrios and Mitch White to lock it down and give our offense a chance, and the offense needs to step it up and take advantage of those opportunities. Which just brings me to my point: is Bo Bichette's getting hot right now. Bo Bichette needs to get hot, because Tio's shown this season he can get hot. Vlad's shown this season he can get hot. George Springer, I feel like he's always hot. But if you can add Bo Bichette to that mix on any given night, if you could have 2 or 3 of those guys popping off. And in that first game of the Orioles that we just saw, where they were all popping off, that is absolutely elite. I think he needs to stay hot. And look, he's been, last 2 weeks, he has an OPS of 978.
That's really good.
He needs to keep it there, man,
That's really
to
good.
have a chance.
Yeah, Bo Bichette being elite and back to 2020 Bo Bichette form would be absolutely phenomenal for us. I've kind of completely written off Barrios and all those guys, so I was banking on our elites being good. But if Barrios wanted to pull away some of that pressure and just win majority of the games that he plays in and not completely blow us out of the water, then that would be so good and take a bit of that pressure off from those other elite pitchers. It would also take some pressure off what is a strength recently for the Toronto Blue Jays, which is our bullpen. These guys need to remain being dominant over the last month or so, or honestly since trade deadline. It is felt like this bullpen is wow, one of the better ones in the league.
Dude, last 14 games, I pulled up the numbers. We're ranked 6th in all of MLB in ERA with a 1.20 ERA.
Yeah.
That's impressive. impressive. Actually, no, sorry. Excuse me. That is Trevor Richards.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That is Trevor Richards.
Who is doing really fucking
Who's
good.
amazing. And he's one of the key. He's got to stay being good because apparently he can be an opener. That's really elite. But yes, no. The bullpen is ranked 6 in all of MLB since the trade deadline.
And because Trevor Richards is good, now you look at it and there's not really any guy that I hate. There's not really any guy that you... Okay, yeah.
That's it. But hey, that's the only guy
That's it.
that we in 2021, like in the beginning of the year, I hated almost all of them.
I hated pretty much all of them.
All of them.
Yeah,
Other
exactly.
than
So
Romano.
we've really made a solid flip there where it's like at the beginning of the year, it was Romano and Simber and that was it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you tried almost any guy
Any
out there
guy.
and I'm like, okay, like
Good.
we could lock this down. Like we have a legitimate shot. Whereas back in 2021, it was fucking, or season prior, sorry, like it was just like awful. It was awful, man. Like we could never lock down a game. So these guys need to remain being elite for us to win as many games as we're projecting ourselves to win against these close playoff contending ball clubs.
Right, exactly. So I truly do believe, to answer the initial question, do we think that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Look, the bullpen's on a great roll right now. I don't really see them stopping. Bo Bichette's getting hot, and the offense is starting to click and find it a little bit here. I like that. And then I really do believe in this rotation in order to get us to the playoffs. So with that being said, I think the Blue Jays do have a good shot, and I do think, if you're going to see our other video, I think we're going to come second in this wild card at least.
I think that we are absolutely going to make it. I don't know if it's going to happen necessarily the way that we predict with like going 19 and 11 or whatever the total was.
That's optimistic.
That would be very optimistic, but if we could make a play for that big 90 win like benchmark, then I think it's 100% locked in. I hope that we don't need to go into that final series with Baltimore like fearing for anything.
Yeah.
I would love to like chill out, maybe just rest some guys for a few games if that's even possible. But we'll see, guys. It's going to be a tight race right up until the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think the Toronto Blue Jays have a shot to make the postseason? If they do, where do you think they're going to end up in the wild card? Or maybe, hey, maybe they even win the AL East if you're getting crazy like that.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below.
Also, $3 a month become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of our current Patreon members. You guys are freaking awesome.
And thank you so much for watching.
And
Go Jays, go!